Spoilers for the Fallout TV show. What is up, everybody? It is me, BlazeBuster, here for another video. And today, we are talking about Vault-Tec, or, more specifically, the Fallout TV show Vault-Tec. Now, I know technically they're the same thing, but in my mind, they're not. They're very, very different. Because in the TV show, if you have not seen it, as I said before, skip away now, they very much become the new big bad in Fallout. The new Enclave, the new Institute, the Master. These guys work from the shadows, and they are going to destroy everything. But today, I want to talk about why I don't like that. Now, before we get into this video, I want to preface this by saying I do not hate Vault-Tec. In fact, I love Vault-Tec. I love the experiments and the weird things they do. I find it fascinating to think why they would do that. And yes, I know there are theories as to why they did those experiments, some of which say they're preparing humanity to inhabit a new planet. But I don't think they should be the big bad of Fallout. In Fallout 1, we had the Master. Simple, effective, and it was great. The Master wanted to turn all of humanity into super mutants. Well, then you can either stop him by killing him or telling him that they cannot breed.
Oh my god, bro.
Oh, hell no, man.
Now, Fallout 2 had the Enclave, and the Enclave were absolutely amazing. In fact, the Enclave were so good that they had to come back again as soon as the game ended. Even though in Fallout 2, it stated that they would be wiped out forever. But Bethesda loved them so much, they brought them back for Fallout 3. And in Fallout 3, they were the big bad. And for all intents and purposes, the Enclave are almost all but wiped out. Of course, there are remnants, we see that in the show. But they're very small. A couple research facilities maybe, but the Enclave is pretty much wiped out. In New Vegas, we get another villain. Different one, actually. Caesar's Legion. Or Mr. House, or the NCR, depending on which you side. But Caesar's Legion is the big bad. I like Caesar's Legion. It makes sense. It's interesting. A tribe of people following a maniac in the wasteland who wants to basically bring back Rome. I love that. It's really interesting and well made. Obviously, the Legion is probably gone because unless you choose the Legion, they were going to kill themselves anyways. They were going to wipe themselves out. But the Legion, we have not heard a single thing about them since. And there's actually some theories that the Legion merged with the Western chapter of the Brotherhood of Steel to make what it is today. I actually quite like this theory. It would be an interesting thing to see happen. And kind of makes sense. Both of the factions were weak. They needed to come together to create something strong. In Fallout 4, the big bad is what I want to talk about today. The Institute. Now, I'm here to say something that some of you might find sacrilegious. That being, I think the Institute should have became the big bad of Fallout. Now, I know, in Fallout 4, in almost all of the endings, you pretty much wipe out the Institute completely. But I think that most likely, the ending that is canon is the Minutemen destroying the Institute and them not destroying the Brotherhood of Steel. It would be an interesting theory, and I've seen a couple people talk about it. but it would make the most sense. The Minutemen are the Fallout 4 faction. They are the new good guy faction. That's not the Railroad. And let's face it, nobody likes the Railroad. So, the Minutemen being the canon ending for Fallout 4 would make a lot of sense. And them not destroying the Brotherhood would make a lot of people happy. The reason why I'm saying this is because if they are the canon end, then that would mean there's a good chance the people from the Institute survived. Meaning a bunch of synths and scientists from the Institute escaped. Now imagine a bunch of scientists from the Institute leave the Institute, the thing they've been working on since their birth or since they've joined, and all of a sudden, everything they've worked for, everything they've done is gone, destroyed. I imagine, let's say the Institute got bitter and cold. Imagine an institute that wasn't just working on new technologies and trying to better the institute. No, this is an institute that wants to destroy the surface dwellers, the people that destroyed them. Now, maybe they would have to cut back on synth program, maybe only Gen 1s and 2s, but still. Just imagine an institute that has technology that is arguably more advanced than post-war technology. This faction all of a sudden hates the surface and wants to wipe them out. Or they could just say that the Institute has another branch somewhere. If they wanted to say this, I wouldn't be upset. It's nowhere near the biggest retcon Bethesda has done. So if they did that, it would not bother me. But just imagine a bloodlusted institute, an institute that wants to wipe everything out. They were already the boogeyman of the Commonwealth. Now imagine them being the boogeyman of the wasteland. Imagine them taking coursers and actually turning them into actual strong beings. I'm talking, they use their teleportation relay mid-fight to teleport around and blast you from all directions. I'm talking synths that are modified to be super weapons. I'm talking animals being made that people never even fathomed could be around. Imagine in a Fallout 5 where the Institute was the enemies again. There would be a giant lake, and people would talk about it and be like, oh my god, never go near the lake. Anybody who goes near the lake dies. Some people would think it's myth, others know it's true. When in reality, guess what? You go to that lake, it's a giant Loch Ness monster that the Institute created. Why? To create a water-based monster. It is a synth, but it is not weak, and you have to take it down. That is what I'm talking about. The things that the Institute could do if they were angry and bloodlusted completely outweigh Vault-Tec. Of course, Vault-Tec could drop nukes, as we saw in the show, which I think is stupid. If a faction can just drop nukes, what's stopping Vault-Tec from getting whatever they want? Nothing. They can just drop nukes on anything. They dropped nukes on Shady Sands, arguably the most powerful faction in the entirety of the Wasteland. We don't know where they are. The NCR could be completely wiped out all from one nuke from Vault-Tec. But just imagine if instead of Vault-Tec, it was the Institute. And the Institute, well, instead of nukes, they had a full war. You see, the Institute isn't like most other factions. In order for most factions to win a war, they gotta lose blood. They gotta lose bodies. If the Brotherhood and the NCR fight, then that's bodies that we're fighting. Those are people. The Institute doesn't have that problem. They can use robots. This is like some Star Wars The Clone Wars level stuff. This is, just imagine an NCR army fighting against an entire army of bloodlusted synths from the Institute. These guys, when you kill a synth, it's not like you're hurting the Institute. The synths, they'll just make more. And I can guarantee it's a lot faster to make a new synth than it takes to make a new human. A battle-ready human. So, what I'm proposing is, instead of Vault-Tec, we got the Institute 2, or a Bloodlusted Institute, or an Angry Institute. I just think that using Vault-Tec, instead of something like the Institute, was a big mistake on their part. This is a different kind of video than usual. It's an unscripted video. I might be rambling a little bit, but my point I wanted to make today is I just think it would have been cool if, instead of getting the Vault-Tec being the big bad, we got the Institute and they got their time to shine. In Fallout 4, yeah, they were a nice faction, but they didn't do a lot. They made synths and mostly stuck to themselves. But just imagine a big bad Institute that wants to hurt people. The kind of technologies they could make would be insane. Absolutely crazy. The Loch Ness Monster thing. You think I'm lying? Or you think that couldn't happen? I could definitely see it happening. The Institute was already testing water-based synths. Not to mention, they had synth crows. They were the Watchers. Any crow you see in Fallout 4, that is the Institute watching the Commonwealth. Now just imagine they did that, but on a higher scale, and made that for combat. They can make some sort of Scorchbeast synth that they use to attack things. I'm just thinking, yeah, Vault-Tec is cool. I love Vault-Tec. But as the big bad, I think the Institute would have been a far better pick. Well, that's going to be all from me, folks. Make sure you like and subscribe. And remember to stay rad. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.